What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of the By the Hood podcast or webcast, because I don't know how you're consuming this content. I'm your host, as always. My name is Jimmy, and as we start off every show, that's with gratitude. I want to say thank you to all of our supporters, all of our social media following, specifically our students in By the Hood University, which is growing literally every day. We have amazing students learning options, learning the stock market, learning how to analyze. We have a real estate analysis course that's getting ready to drop pretty soon. And we just have all sorts of content coming out for the By the Hood University students. Just want to say appreciate all you guys. Without further ado, I want to introduce my co-host and my partner. Corey's in the building as always. What's up, Corey?
What's going on, Jim? How's everything looking out, in your part of the world, man?
Man, everything's good, man. You know, it's hot as hell out here in Philly, man. You know, you get in the car and you look at the temperature, and the John said 108 today. I'm like, come on, man, that's ridiculous. But anywho, you know, I'm cool though, man. You know, I try to stay out. I'm still quarantined for most part. You know what I mean? So I'm good. But making things happen from the crib. But anyone who watches our show or listens, first off, I want to say this, right? Because we really haven't been focused on our YouTube channel as much as we should, because, you know, we're pretty much a podcast, but we do record the actual video. And some people were telling me they didn't know we had video. We do record the video and put that out on our YouTube channel. But looking at our analytics, I looked at date, 84% of all of our listens come from the Apple podcast, which means that the iPhone and Apple are dominating when it comes to the people who listen to our content. So not investment advice, but shout out to Apple. But we want to make sure we start driving some people to our YouTube channel. So for those who haven't been subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/bythehood. And make sure you take a look at the videos, because we're going to start putting more content on our YouTube channel as well. With that being said, our platform is dedicated to highlighting brothers and sisters who look just like us, who are making things happen in the world, whether that's community activism, whether that's building businesses, whether that's investors. And we have a young man all the way from Canada who, met on our Instagram page and had a conversation with. And this guy is very bright. He has a very bright future, and he's already an investor and making things happen. And listen, he's blessed and highly favored. I want to bring on Fred Hammond, but you know his name is Fred Hammond. You already know he's blessed. But Fred, what's up, brother? How you?
Thanks for having me on, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on. I'm blessed.
Oh, man, that's amazing, man. Listen, you all the way out in Canada making it happen. But tell us a little bit about your background. Like, where were you born? Where'd you go to school at out there?
Okay.
What was your upbringing like?
Okay. I'm a son of two immigrants from Ghana, West Africa. So it's actually the first country in Africa to gain independence. So, you know, my parents are pretty bold. They're firecrackers, right? So if anyone ever grew up in a African household, you know how it is. Like, you know, with a lot of pressure, you know, and a lot of cultural differences in comparison to maybe the Black American or Black North American experience. So, both my parents came over and immigrated to Canada. I'm actually living in St. John, New Brunswick. I was born and raised in St. John, New Brunswick. So just to give your viewers a little perspective on where I'm located, it's about 2 hours north from Maine. So I'm right on top of Maine on the East Coast there. I was born and raised here. You know, there's a pretty tight Black community here, because, you know, there's more predominantly Black people in Toronto or Montreal or, you know, big areas of that nature. But, you know, over here on the East Coast, we're not as lucky to have that big of a community. But, you know, we do have, you know, some people of color over here doing a lot of good things, and we're pretty tight knit. So I really do appreciate that. And it's really been helpful, you know, on my journey, having people that look like me, you know, hustling like me. So that's the way I look at things. But, you know, I did the whole university thing. You know, I went to Mount Allison University. That's in Sackville, New Brunswick. So I didn't really venture too far from home, really close with my family. I took a Bachelor of Commerce. So right now I work a 9 to 5. And right now that was a really important part of, you know, my whole journey and whatnot. So like the F.I.R.E movement, financial independence, retirement early, you know, just having a 9 to 5, being able to build capital, you know, slowly. And that's something I really want to talk about to your viewers, you know, later on. But that's where I'm located, St. John, New Brunswick. That's where we're coming.
Man, I have a lot of questions based upon that. And thank you for sharing all that. About that experience as the son of immigrants, right? We know what the stereotypes are. We hear them all the time. But how tough was it coming up in terms of what your expectations were? Because we hear about it all the time, but I want to get it from someone who's experienced that. What were the expectations like?
Yeah, but the expectations were high. Actually, I did 1 year of health science, so my goal was to become a doctor because ever since I was little, it was like, you got to be a doctor, like nothing less. Like that's where we want to see you or you're a failure, right? So I kind of, gave into the pressure, right? And that's kind of the route I went. But I went to university and then, I took an accounting class. I'm like, damn, like, I'm pretty good with these numbers, like when they started talking about money and, investing and finance, I'm like, okay, this is where I'm at. So I kind of broke it to my parents. I'm like, ain't gonna be no Dr. Fred Hammond, So if you want me to become a reverend, I might be able to do that, but I'm not gonna be a doctor of medicine. That's not happening. So that's kind of the route I went. I kind of just ran with it, and I've always been a numbers guy, ever since. Like my Instagram handle is Fred with the cheese, and it's Fred with the cheese for a reason. Ever since high school, I've always had hustles here. Let's go mow lawns. Let's go do this. I've always been built different. So that's what everyone. If you ask someone like, what's Fred Hammond, like, what's he like? It's like, that guy's just built different. He just operates different. So that's kind of how,
Got you.
Yeah.
The next question is, you mentioned like the FIRE movement, and that's always been something that I'm interested in too, right? I call myself a fake FIRE person because I love what I do, but I do like the idea. I like the F.I.R.E. piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can ever actually retire early, but but I like the F.I.R.E. piece. And so my wife and I sit and watch like FIRE videos all the time. Right. That's like a little side crazy hobby we have. But what drew you to that movement?
It just looked like the only route to go because, I work in the office 9 to 5. People around me in my office and whatnot, they're, big on consuming. So like, they're not really saving their money. They're like, maybe they'll save for a down payment, but they're not going to put that money into an investment vehicle to buy in a single family house. So I looked at it as like a penny saved is a penny earned. But if you look at the FIRE movement, it's like you tell someone that out the gate, they're like, oh, like I can't go out with my friends, I can't do this, da 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 da. Woo. It's like, no, you can't. You just gotta budget everything, right? Like some people, might want to go out. Some people might want to, indulge in sports more. So it's just all about what money you got to break it down, what money you got coming in, and just try to structure it so you can save. Pay yourself first. That's the way I look at it. So I'm always paying myself first. I'm always putting that in an account that I don't even know where the debit card's at. That debit card, I threw that somewhere. I don't even know where that's at. I'm paying myself first, be it like 20%, 25% of what I'm getting paid all day. I'm saving that. So I think people in our generation, and it's just they're really big on consuming and Gucci belt, Gucci this, or I got that 3 Series, I got that Lexus, and that's all fine and that's all fine and dandy. That's good, but I think the big thing is delayed gratification, right? You can set yourself up with some passive income that can pay for these finer things in life. That's kind of the way to go, right? You want to buy an asset, not a liability, especially not a depreciating asset, right? So that's the way I looked at it. I looked at it like I looked at myself like a corporation, right? I looked at myself like a corporation. We got the assets, we got the liabilities, right? I'm looking, okay, the first asset I have is cash, okay? So when I got my job and I got that first paycheck, that's an asset in my pocket. If I'm not saving anything, that's gone out the window, right? I want to tuck some of that away. And when you get to a point where you can deploy that cash into other assets such as real estate or stocks or whatever, then you're just kind of expanding and building, and just kind of exponentially grows from there, right? I think more people should look at themselves as like a corporation, a business. You want to brand yourself. You want to look at your assets and your liabilities, and you don't want to, be too heavy on one side, lopsided, right? So
that's interesting. Look at yourself as a corporation. I like that. I think we got a show title, Corey.
Yeah, I think we just hit on it.
Yeah, that's all amazing information, especially coming from someone at such a young age. And you talked about your love of numbers when you started getting into accounting. So I know that pretty much helped you tremendously when you started to come up with a plan.
Right.
But that FIRE movement, like you said something too about the thought of when you tell someone that you practice the fire, and the first thing you think of is they can't do.
Right.
That's because within the fire movement, there's some people that take it to the extreme too.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So again,
yeah.
I consume some of the content from the fire movement because it's inspirational. But then sometimes, like I read a book, right? It was called The Frugal Woods.
Okay.
I've never even seen that book, but it's about a couple who's fire movement, and the stuff they were doing. I'm like, yo,
Right.
like they moved out. They literally moved out into the woods, like moved off the grid. They spent money on absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Right.
Which was, and they say that they admit they're extreme with it, but you don't have to be that extreme. You can still do some of the things you like, but it's about doing what you enjoy, which is why it's a high correlation with minimalism. Right. You know what I mean? So I think that's interesting that you gravitated to that at such a young age, the fire movement.
Right.
So how has that helped you overall with working in 9 to 5 and now moving from not only the employee class, but to the investor class? How has, practicing fire helped you make your first investment?
I think it just helped me exponentially grow. Like instead of, spending that money or not saving or not paying myself first, I was really doing myself a disservice. And I feel like people really don't reach that light doesn't go off in their head till maybe later in life when it maybe is too late. But when you ask me, it's never too late. I just feel that went off in my head where, okay, like I don't necessarily hate my job, but I don't necessarily want to work there for the rest of my life, right? So it was one of those things where, okay, if I can live minimally and, save as much money for a down payment or something along those lines, I put up that down payment, and that's going to be in turn going to an asset that's going to be paying me passive income. If I own it for the rest of my life, that returns, infinite, right? So you gotta look at it that way, right? So that's the way I kind of took on things.
Okay, so when you decided, all right, now I'm gonna save up and buy this investment piece, did you? And talking to you, that your first purchase was a fourplex, which is amazing. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
On getting your fourplex at such a young age. And for the folks out there, how old are you? Just let them know how old you are.
I'm 24.
So this guy's 24 years old. He's working a good job, but he's practicing fire and has already purchased a fourplex. So he's on his way. Where did you purchase your fourplex at? Where is it located? And what did that look like to have to go through with the purchase?
Right. Well, I purchased it in St. John, New Brunswick, so that's my hometown. I just think I had an advantage there because I know the area. I know, what rents to charge. I've rented before in the area, so I know kind of what, three bedrooms or one bedrooms go for. So I purchased it in St. John, New Brunswick. It's a cash flow market. It's not necessarily a market where you're going to see a lot of appreciation. So I would compare that to maybe Indiana or the Midwest. It's a similar environment in regards to investing. And I like that because I'm buying and holding, and I just want to, have basically a unit for every type of expense. So this unit right now is paying for my rent, and the other half is going into my, war chest for the next one, right? Mm-hmm. So I actually closed during COVID. So I closed April 1st. So that was all done virtually, right? And people are like, are you really going through this? Like, man, this is stupid investment. Like, come on, man. Like, you should save that or put that into stocks or something like that. And I was like, I want something that I can see, something tangible, something I can stand on 10 toes down. Like, it's different when you own something. You can look at the building and it's a kind of a sense of pride, right? And I feel more young Black people like me should get into, like, we gotta start buying tangible things that we can look at, and we got to see, like, okay, this brother owns that, this brother owns that, this brother owns that, and that's the way I look at it. So it's a fourplex. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 3-bedrooms, 2 1-bedrooms. It's in downtown St. John. We call Uptown if you're from St. John, Uptown. And yeah, it's fully rented. It's 2% 2% a month gross rent all day. So I'm loving that, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Oh man, that's amazing, right? And you said something that's interesting, right? Because one of the things we preach is ownership. We don't care what you own as long as you own something. But you talk about the pride in seeing something and say a Black man owns that, right? I know what that's like. I know what that's like. That's something that
for sure.
Like, I remember my grandfather doing that, like you're just riding around like, a Black man owns that. So I understand exactly what you're saying about being able to see that and what that does for pride, and also to motivate others. Because I'm pretty sure people watching this, you'll have people that are motivated by your story, being such a young guy,
right,
who's already focused in doing that. You already got it fully rented, so you're on your way right now, man. You should be proud of yourself.
Right. And I want people to see this and look at it like I'm not too young, and it's not too late if I'm too old too, right? Like, so
that's
it's
true.
not too late. You can always jump in whenever, right? But I more black men and especially black women, don't be scared if you're a woman. Jump into this, jump in feet first. And like I said, don't be too, don't do too much research. Like, it's always good to be educated, but I see a lot of people reading books and they don't actually jump in and do it because I feel like you learn a lot from experience. You can read as many books as you want, but as long as you haven't actually gone through the experiences of owning something, you're kind of missing out there. So
listen, man,
go ahead and do it.
People have paralysis by analysis, man.
Right.
So it's like you ain't never lie. Because, Corey and I talk about that. Like, Corey just made a purchase this past week. Corey just bought 1.5 acres. So, but the fact is, like, taking that action, you learn everything from taking action. Man, that's unique. So my question to you is this, though. What is the price point like in St. John's versus somewhere like Toronto? Is it a cheaper market? Because I know Toronto
definitely. Definitely. So I bought this fourplex for $190.
Okay. What?
So Canadian. So
no, $190 Canadian. That's more money than us. But
yeah. So if you want to convert that to USD, that's probably like 160, 165 US.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a lower price entry, right? So compared to Toronto, like something like that would probably be like over $1 million, right?
Yo, Toronto is crazy. Like, so I've been to Canada, but I haven't been all over Canada. But I've been to Toronto. Right. So I've been to Toronto. I went to a Raptors game and did some other things in Toronto. But I was looking at the price because anywhere I go, right, that's another thing you'll start to do as a real estate investor. Anywhere you are, you're going to start looking at what the real estate costs. I don't care whether you're in Jamaica, if you went back home to Ghana. You start looking at the real estate prices, and Toronto was like almost on par with New York. Like, it's ridiculous.
Expensive.
It's very expensive. It's very expensive. Speaking of that, though, let me ask you this question. Have you been back to your homeland, Ghana?
No, I was actually supposed to go last year, which was a year of return, 400 years anniversary of the first slave coming from Ghana, actually, because that's where most of the slaves were from. We're from Ghana. They have a big castle there, Elamina Castle. We were supposed to go last year. That was a year of return. We didn't end up going. Our plan was to go this year, but all the COVID stuff, we can't go. But my family, they go back and forth all the time, and they be telling me, like, it's not what you see on TV. Like, some people are living better than us over there, like a lot more comfortable, right? So I think like even people in the diaspora should
I know, I agree. That's the reason I asked, because I know people that have literally went over there and never come back. They moved there.
Oh, for sure.
And I see pictures and things of like they're building the infrastructure out now, so it looks amazing. A lot of the real estate over there, there's a lot of opportunities in real estate, which is what made me ask you that question.
Right.
All right, so let me ask you a question. In terms of like your job, is your job relating to anything that's accounting based?
Yeah, it's like forensic accounting, so compliance. Yeah. So,
okay. So how has being in the accounting field helped you as an investor, and also like with your planning for your future?
Well, I think they should be teaching everyone this in high school, how to do your own taxes. Like, I'm doing all my own taxes in regards to, keeping track of expenses for this rental property. It also taught me the benefits of, I don't know what the equivalent is in the US, but getting a Canadian controlled corporation. So I guess it'd be the same as the LLC in the US, or S Corp along those lines. So it just showed me the tax advantages that you can get from incorporating, right? So I haven't incorporated yet, but that's the plan once I get enough buildings in my portfolio where there's actually a tax advantage for that. So that's what the benefits I've got from working in the accounting field.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Corey, you have any questions, Corey?
Yeah. So when you were in high school and then you went to college, you said your first year, your parents pushed you toward being a doctor. What was that conversation like with your parents when you was like, look, I'm not going the doctor route. I'm going to, into the accounting field. Like, how did that go over with your parents? And what I see you made the move, whether they liked it or not. But
right.
how was that? How did that go?
Well, basically it went along the lines of, you're not going to be respected as much if you're not a doctor, right? So it was all about respect from them, right? So respect comes first, especially in an African family. You want to be respected in your community, especially in your family, right? So they said, you're not going to be respected as much. There's accountants are dime a dozen. So why do you want to do this? And I said, it's just something I'm good at. It's not where my head's at. And they came around, and my parents have been pretty supportive of me ever since. So,
how did they feel about you when you closed on a F.I.R.E unit? Like, what was their response to you actually owning a piece of property in a F.I.R.E unit at that?
Yeah, they're really excited. They're like, damn, we should have did this when we were your age, right? So they're like, yeah, they're really excited, and they're like, they like to see that I own something in the city, and it's the city's a small city, but it doesn't really mean much to someone that's not from here. But I like my whole family grew up here. My grandfather's buried here, so it means a lot to me to own something, especially downtown or the uptown.
So they can ride by and say that's part of our family.
Like you were saying earlier, you were saying earlier, the pride in being able to look at, say, I own it. Especially when you were talking about respect, that so your parents can now say, look, my son owns that. So, you might not be a doctor, but you still get your respect because they can look at it, they can touch it, they can see it.
Exactly.
That's powerful. That's powerful, man.
Exactly.
That's powerful, man.
That's dope.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Congratulations on all the success, man. But let me ask you a question, because just from talking to you online or whatever, I see that you're like very focused and that you're someone that studies and reads. Do you have any like book or anything that has inspired you throughout your journey?
Yeah, it'd be Bob Proctor. I don't know if you guys ever.
I'm familiar with him. He was in The Secret too. He was part of The Secret.
Right. His book, You Were Born Rich, that really changed the way of me thinking. Just thinking positive thoughts, and what he outlines in his book is your thoughts become you frame them together and they become actions, right? So always to be positive, always to look at the bright side of things. It could always be worse, and that's the way I look at things. And it really blessed me, that book, just to be in the right state of mind. And I feel like mental health and whatnot isn't really addressed too much in the Black community, and I feel this book really addresses it 100% in my mind. It's all your state of mind, and the human body is amazing, what you can do for yourself by just thinking positive thoughts and making them become actions.
Yeah, we're going to add that to our recommended books list. So if you're watching this or listening to this, go to the description and look, or you can go right to the link in our bio, and you'll see we're going to add that to our record, because we keep a running tab of all of our guests and the books and books that we recommend and that they recommend. So we're trying to get people to read more and build up a library. But you're the first person to mention that. But I am familiar with his work from The Secret. So I saw him on The Secret, and I watched him on a couple other videos. So that could be a powerful book. Now, next question is this. Along your journey, right, and you've given us some hurdles you had to get over in terms of a doctor. I'm not sure whether that's your biggest hurdle. What is the biggest hurdle that you had to get over to become someone, who's powerful in accounting, but now also an investor that owns multiple units and, moving in the finance field? What has been your biggest hurdle, although a young guy, even in your age? What has been the biggest hurdle thus far? Because you'll have more, but what is the biggest hurdle thus far?
I would just say not being taken seriously, right? And that could be a number of things. That could be ageism, that could be racism, that could be, a lot of things, right? So I just think not being taken seriously and being underestimated was my biggest hurdle. But, at the end of the day, I'm always been like a grinder. Like, this is a gritty blue collar town, right? So I always, the way I see it, my catchphrase is paycheck under your work boot, right? So I always put in the work, and, always ended up proving people wrong. But it's always been Fred's he's not this, but at the end of the go, I let my actions speak for themselves.
Man, that's dope. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. You have a lot going for you right now, man. Like, the whole idea of paying yourself first.
Right.
It takes a lot of people years to understand that.
All right. So I have a question. I have two questions.
Okay.
The first question is, you said you was doing FIRE. So are you doing the whole FIRE part with the retire early piece, or are you just trying to get to the financially independent part?
I'm just trying to get to the financially independent part of it. I'll for sure retire from my job if I get enough properties, but I want to keep expanding and build my brand. So I don't really ever want to retire. I want to retire from working for somebody else though. So that's the goal. That's the main goal, right?
Gotcha.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
And the second part, the other question I have for you is, and you said you're looking to expand. Are you looking to expand into the United States, or are you looking to expand further into Canada, into those more, higher end
Right.
places, as far as like Toronto and places like that?
Right, right. I really want to expand, regionally. So, obviously my province, which is New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, because I'm really investing for cash flow rather than appreciation. I want to have that, passive income coming in every month. So I'm really investing for properties that cash flow, above 1% or 1.5%. But I'd love to, expand into the States. That'd be great. I hear about flips people do in the States, and I guess Detroit was pretty hot back in the day, but I'd love to get into that. So, I'm just kind of trying to find my way right now. So
Yeah.
that's
That's a question I have too, right? So, it's interesting, right? Nova Scotia is the territory. So there's a lot of people, and there's becoming a better network of people here in the States. What is it like in Canada in terms of being someone, a person of color, in terms of like the
Don't say
network?
that, man. Say black,
I
man.
know. All right, I'm gonna say black. I know you get
No, come
upset,
on.
Corey. You get upset at person of color, but what I'm saying is a black
right.
person. Calm down, Corey. It's all good. Listen, so the idea is like all of us throughout the diaspora to kind of like come together and build. But what is it like being where you are? What's the network like? Are there other Black investors that operate in your area? People that you can get mentorship from or to help you out? What's that look like?
Not really in St. John. There's a couple Black business owners that own barbershops and whatnot, but in the real estate field, there's not too many. A couple of the guys that I kind of ran with right now, kind of feeding off their energy. They're actually Palestinian, so those are the guys that are kind of making moves in regards to real estate. But I wish there was more brothers doing things, but
Maybe
it's just
you
you just
could be
don't
that
got the
spark.
numbers.
You could be
You
that
could be the
spark.
spark. Yeah,
That's
you could be
right.
the spark, man.
You could be the spark to start that, man.
Right.
I've always been interested in that because I actually wanted to come up there. It was a while ago. I wanted to go to a King of the Dot event out
Right.
there, but I was like, I don't know if I should be going out there because I don't know what it's like for Black folk out there, man.
Right.
But that's interesting though.
Yeah.
Man, so what's the future look like for your business? What are some of the things that you want to get into for the future of your business?
I just want to, expand. I want to get at least 3 more, rental properties, and then maybe make a decision if I really needed this 9 to 5, right? And just kind of expand from there. I actually was looking at starting a property management company because, in this city, there's no competition in that market. So I think I could start a company and get some market share. But my goal is to, build my portfolio to basically reinforce that I can do it. And then that's the next goal, is to start a property management company. And hopefully I can get more brothers in on that, and we can kind of run with it all together, right?
So when people find out how old you are and what you're doing, and you said there's not a lot of Black folk, what is the reaction to it? Do a lot of people ask you to help them out, help them get started, or do they look at you as being an anomaly?
Yeah, exactly. I've been kind of spitting game to people that want to hear, right? That want to help themselves, right? Because I don't know everything. I'm 24. I'm still learning myself, right? I'm still learning every day, but I help people, educate them on, investing, cryptocurrency, you can speculate if you want, but FIRE is what I'm really pushing, is like pay yourself first. That's the best way. There's no get rich quick scheme. You can start trading Bitcoin or whatever overnight, and you can blow up your account, and you're not gonna, there's no get rich quick scheme. So the best way to get to a position to actually be able to invest and see a return is pay yourself first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pay yourself first, and we'll go from there. So that's what I've been kind of advocating to people of color in my community, and Yeah, that's kind of
Man,
where.
keep doing that. Keep doing that. Do you invest in anything else like a cryptocurrency or anything
Yeah,
else?
yeah, I'm big. I guess you got a YouTube channel, Port City Trading Desk. So I do, TA, technical analysis in regards to that. I've been trading Bitcoin since 2012, so way,
Nice.
way, long time. I trade some stocks, so I'm pretty hands off now in regards to that. So I'm just in the indexes, but I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
big in trading crypto. I don't
What
hold
now?
any.
What is your YouTube channel again? I want to make sure I put it in the description box.
Okay,
But for the folks
okay.
watching, what is your YouTube channel for your Bitcoin trading?
It's Port City Trading Desk.
Port City Trading Desk. We'll put that in the description as well. So you said you don't hold any, but you traded. That's
I
interesting.
don't hold any. So
I've never heard anyone say that before. Even people I know that trade, I've
okay.
never heard anyone say I don't hold any.
Yeah, I'm a scalper. I'm in the know really quick. So I'm just looking for the 1/2% move. So yeah.
Let me ask you a question though. All right, now we got to this.
Right.
Why don't you hold any? Like why like even if you are to trade, is there a
Right.
reason that you don't want to hold any at all?
I don't wanna buy my spot position. I think the price is gonna go lower. Then I'll buy my spot position. But right now, no, I'm not holding any.
And is it just Bitcoin or you do mess with any of the altcoins?
Uh Maybe Ethereum. Maybe I'll hold Chainlink if there's a pullback. But I'm just keeping it simple. Bitcoin, I scalp that in and out. Ethereum, I'll buy some of that. So yeah, that's it.
And last question, crypto related. I just want to get your opinion though. What do
Okay,
you
yeah.
think? Do you really think that is the future? Like, what is your opinion on the future
Yeah,
of
yeah,
money?
I do. I think that crash in March where the Fed was like they have the ability to print infinite amount of money, unlimited QE. I think that's just a red flag for anyone that's in fiat currency. At any time they could sweep the rug up from under you, right? So I really do think that is the future of holding your wealth, right? Or so holding your value in your wealth. So I think that is the future of things.
Got you. All right, interesting, man. It's interesting. Okay, so now we know I gotta go check out Port City Trading Desk and see
Yeah,
what kind of
right.
info you're giving out there, man. That's interesting. I've never heard anyone say that, but I get your point. I get your point. All right, man. So man, this has been amazing. Corey, you got any questions before we get out of here, man?
Yes, he started talking about crypto, so my mind started to run a little.
I know it did. That's why I'm coming to you. That's why I'm coming to you. I know you got. Once he brought up crypto, I said Corey gonna have another question.
Yeah, I am. So, what is it about Ethereum and Bitcoin that you'll trade it, but the other altcoins? Why do you have such a,
Right.
I didn't say you had a reaction to it. I don't know
He
what
did
kind of
mention Link though. So
chain link.
Yeah, Chainlink. I
Yeah,
just really haven't really done my research, right? So I'm just not I'm
enough
not
said.
educated enough.
yeah,
No,
So
yeah,
that's
that's the
perfect.
right answer.
right,
That's it. That's it right there. If you don't know anything about it, then leave it alone.
Because
I'm good.
Chainlink, oh, I call it Link because that's like the ticker or whatever you want to call it. But Link, that thing shot up. It was what was it today? Damn it, $10, ain't it?
yeah, it's like it's past 8. I know it was past 8, and I was like, it got to pull back, and it kept going. So I was like, damn,
That's
I'm
not
to go.
that's crazy.
So yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
I'm interested to see that too because I was talking to Corey before we became one about like just me eyeing the crypto market because it's just becoming a bigger interest of mine. Like so,
right,
I've been in the crypto market years ago, but like just
okay.
like I'm re-examining it from a whole different aspect, not necessarily for appreciation, but as a different form of
Yeah, right,
storing value, like a different form of
exactly,
actually having gold.
exactly, yeah,
Although I'm getting into gold bars now too, though.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
but
Gold's
there's
running
nothing wrong.
too.
There's nothing wrong with diversification, man.
Exactly.
I bought several ounces of silver like
Okay.
a
I've
week
been
ago.
stacking silver.
Oh man, see, you got
Yeah,
you got all
my
kinds of
man,
stuff going on,
he got
right?
the
So
diversity. He got portfolio diversity all down and everything.
yeah, but the point is, I bought several ounces of silver a couple of weeks ago. Even since I bought it, it's up like 7%. I was like, sheesh.
Right, right,
Like silver went up. Today it was actually up again. Today it was over $20 an ounce.
right. Well, if you
So
look at the charts, historical charts, ever since 2011 or 2012, you look at it, it's been fluctuating between 20 and like $12. So that's a sign of accumulation. They're suppressing the price. So, institutions are, they're stacking. So one day, be
That's
4
the
or 5
technical
years,
analysis in
it's
you.
gonna go
See,
up.
he got that technical analysis down because he understand that when anytime you get a pattern for a minute, it's gonna break out one way or the other. It's either it's gonna crash and it's gonna burn, or it's gonna shoot off. And I don't see no crash.
So how long have you been stacking silver?
I would say a year now.
Okay.
And are you? I really made a big purchase.
Are you exclusively silver, or are you doing any other sort of precious metals?
Just silver. Just silver. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's crazy, man. I'm trying to get me a piece of palladium, platinum, the whole nine.
Right.
It's funny, right? Because I used to laugh at the people with the precious metals, because I was a heavy real estate guy. Actually, probably too heavy in real estate when I look at my overall investment portfolio.
Yeah.
But I remember a guy telling me years ago. This is going back to early 2000s. I was working for Johnson & Johnson at the time. Okay. And a close friend of mine, who's actually one of my real estate business partners now, was working at a different pharmaceutical company. But he was telling me about the different metals that they use and the value of them. And shout out to Kerry. He told me, he was like, yo, you got to look up this thing called rhodium. Okay. And I was like, what the hell is rhodium? I ain't thinking about rhodium. I'm trying to buy some buildings. But I looked at, rhodium at the time was like a couple $100. Rhodium is damn near $3,000 an ounce now. Mm. And I told him when I got back into stacking myself, I was like, yo, remember rhodium? And he was like, I told you. But he knew from what they used in the plant he was working at the time, what they used. Because a lot of these metals, like silver, which is interesting that you're stacking silver, has a lot of use cases outside of the value, is used in a lot of things.
And it's good. We got us brothers. We got to start stacking, those precious metals. Look at Congo. Like, that should be the richest country on earth, just on the minerals that are under the soil, right? But you see what's going on there.
They take it all. They take all the wealth.
So it's like we gotta. I'm all for going back and starting businesses too. We gotta branch out and be international. So I got really, big hopes for the future. Once I get to a point where I can actually do that and be international. Hold some properties over there, start some businesses over there, because it's a lower barrier of entry over there, and it's possible, right? So that's the
I know you're gonna do it, man. Sky is the limit, man. I see that you got your head on straight, man. You're already thinking the right way. Because it's about accumulating all of them. Like, so Corey has this thing, and I got this from Corey. I learned this from Corey. He was like, if there's money being made over there, we need to be there, right? Exactly. So if it's crypto, if it's the stock market, if it's options, if it's real estate, if it's silver, whatever it is that people making money, we need to be there.
If it's $1 being made in the park, you need to be in the park. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's crazy is I got that from Frank White. No. if it's a dime bag being sold in Central Park, I want a piece of, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I see infrastructure being built, I know money is going there. So anytime infrastructure is being built, and now everybody see what people don't know and what they can't see is that Africa is the only birth positive continent in the world right now.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Everybody else is either neutral or negative.
Right.
And so that's why all of these companies is looking at Africa, because Africa's growing.
Exactly.
That's why China's over there the way they are.
The population is growing. And so with that population growth comes with, and then in the infrastructure there has been, it got eroded because of what happened with when they tore the continent apart at the beginning of the at the end of the 1800s.
Exactly.
So when you go through that kind of change, and the world can see it, and it's ugly that we can't see it. You know what I mean? Like, as the diaspora, and so that drives me absolutely berserk.
Right.
But it starts with accumulating wherever you at, so that you can have the means and the opportunity.
To do it,
then you can go over there.
It's so inspiring. Really. It's also so inspiring to hear someone so young already understand that piece.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and I guess that maybe that's like, was it a cultural thing? Like, is it something that you were taught to always look back?
Yeah, because my grandmother goes back all the time, and it's a funny story. She tells me, there's some Chinese people there coming to Ghana poor, starting businesses, and she comes back a couple years after, and they're rich, driving 3 Series and C30s and whatnot. So it's like, it's sad because they see the value there, and they're taking that risk. But
listen, they're doing that all
doing that, right?
They're doing that all over the world. Like I love Jamaica, so I often go to Jamaica. I'm pissed I'm not able to make my trip this year, but I was amazed last time I was there, which was the end of 2019. I was there in December, and there was like Asian stores the same way there are in like the States. Like on the corner, there's a regular like, hey, I'm like, hold on, they got stores over here like that?
Yeah.
And I was talking to some of the locals, and they were like, listen, they're buying up everything. They're buying up big buildings.
Yeah.
Infrastructurally, I'm like, listen, they get it, right? Ownership is where it's at, because when you own things, it gives you a certain level of control, and also helps you build wealth and employ other people. Exactly. So, man, that's dope though. I had no idea that you were stacking silver. You trading crypto. Yeah. You're getting to it, man. Listen, first of all, I just want to say I'm proud of you, man. As someone who's a little older.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm proud of you. And make sure that all the knowledge you acquire and everything you do, that you just teach the next person that looks like us.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the key. The key is to keep spreading out there, and we want to help.
You got to keep in contact with us too, man.
We definitely will, but we also want to make sure we put your story out there and have people reach out to you. Right. You know, especially if you're in Canada or if you're a younger person that's trying to learn, because he's getting it from a multitude of angles, man. Right. Like,
sure.
You know, and I'm gonna hit you.
I'm a student. I'm in perpetuity, so I want.
And I'm gonna hit you up too offline once we get off here to talk to you about that stacking, because I didn't even know that, and that's something that I'm getting more into now. So, like, you know, you see, it excites me. Sure. You know, I've been caught in the YouTube trap over the last like several months, but I've been buying as well. And that's the crazy part. When you buy and you see it go up right away, you're like, all right, now I'm addicted to this. Yeah. It's like when you trade your first option and your first option goes right, you're like, okay, now I'm here. I can do this, right? Yeah, man. But Fred, man, listen, thank you for your time, man. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for you know, being as transparent as you are. We're going to tell everyone, we're going to put your Instagram handle within the description. We're going to put your YouTube page there as well. We want to make sure people take a look at what you got on YouTube. And, man, I just want to wish you much success in the future, man. Thank you.
Appreciate that. I appreciate you guys for having me on. And, you know, I'm blessed to be here. And I want people to, you know, if they got any value from this, you know, to, you know, take that chance, and, you know, try to educate yourself, because we live in an era where you can, you know, click a button, you can learn, you know, what you couldn't in the past. So
that's absolutely cool. Anything last words for you, good brother?
Man, I'm amazed, man, like at some of the young people we've had on this show that's really getting to it, man. They really get into a bag, and then on top of that, they're really good people. Like, you know, there's some real jerks in the world. And these young boys is not. None of them is on that time. You know what I mean? So right. I'm really impressed with the young people that we've had on this show.
Listen, man, I'm inspired, man. I'm inspired by Fred, guys like Fred, like Showtime, like all the different younger guys we had on here, Xavier, you know what I mean? Like, you know, SBV, Raspy, all the different younger guys we had on our platform. I'm definitely inspired by you guys, because you guys have your
25.
Yeah, Jamisa too. Jamisa was he's 25, 26. She already multi-millionaire. It's like, so it's like I'm inspired by all of you, because, you know, it's like if you watch the news, the national news, and I don't care where you are when you watch it, you wouldn't think that people like you exist.
Right, exactly. It's you know.
So that's why it's important for different platforms to highlight that. I mean, Truth Jones, we had so many. I don't want to even keep naming them because I don't want to forget anybody. But we've had a lot of younger folks on here, like, you know, that are really doing the right thing. And like you said, they're good people and they're teaching others, man. So continue to spread that positivity.
We'll do.
And much success to you. And we definitely will like stay in touch with you and watch as you grow, man. So when you become like, you know, the big boss of your area, man, we're gonna say, hey, look back when he started here with you know, with the silver and the quadplex, man. Yeah, exactly. But for our audience out there, make sure that you share this content. Go take a look at what he has going on. You know, give us a like, subscribe, all the good stuff that you're supposed to do. And we want to say thank you as well, because we're continuing to grow. But as we always say, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. Game elevates, and we'll check you on the next episode. Peace.